Hello. Melissa, your insurance exam queen here. And I'm here for any of your questions that you may have about the insurance exam. How can I share this? I don't think I just shared the link. I don't know. I want to share this on YouTube. Or not on YouTube. We are on YouTube. I want to share this on my Facebook. Oh, there's a share button. Oh, no, wait. Is that share? Oh, no, there it is. Perfect. All right. Hello. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat. And I will be here to help you answer your questions about your exam, studying tips. If you have questions about like why, why, why do I keep failing? Why am I struggling with studying? Questions like the difference between dwelling and homeowners, or things about life insurance or health insurance. So think of it kind of like as an open tutoring session. Oh, that's why. And all right, I'm trying to get this shared to Facebook as well. So it gives you guys a few minutes to type in your questions. Let me know what's up with your exam. I usually have some people who have also passed their exam who always come on to watch. So thank you. Hello. Glad you're here. I love you. All right. And yeah. All right. So I'm going to share this in the Facebook super quick. And let's see comments. Oh, there we go. All right. Lorena. Hello. Pika. 10 points away from the Washington State. Washington is definitely going to be a lot heavier on the state laws. So you're very likely going to want to reassess that chapter. And that's usually going to come from your state approved course where they got Washington state laws. Now, what you can also do is Washington is really great for the score sheet. They'll show you max score versus your score. And this is true for anybody. If you have a score sheet where it's like your score versus the max score, just subtract those numbers, right? So go from the max score to your score, and then do the ones that have the most points available. And you'll find in Washington, it's almost always insurance regulations, but it's the most common score I see for insurance regulations in Washington, or state law, whatever they may call it, is about 25 out of 35 points. So I haven't seen people score a whole lot more than that. Hello, Alex. Hello, Lori. Tips for Illinois. Illinois is awesome. I'm in Illinois right now. With Illinois, you have to. Oh, I didn't share it to the Facebook group because I came over to check. All right. With Illinois, you have to take 4 exams or multiple exams. You have the state law exam. So I want to talk to you about that. Live on YouTube now. I really need someone who can like run this for me and like share it live. Like I know there's a system that can like zoom you automatically everywhere. I don't want to create an event. What is that? No, I just want to make a post. Oh man, I can't even just make a Facebook post. I really need someone who can run this for me and stream me in like all the places. Like you're asking a non-technical person to run a technical business. It's fun. All right, let me share that to the group as well. Okay. All right. So, all right, let me hop back. Oh, Illinois. Okay. In Illinois, are you doing property casualty or life and health, Lori? So property casualty or life or health, answer to that. And if you have a question, make sure, unless it's like a specific like homeowners or dwelling or, health or whatever, I'm going to know what exam you're on. Okay. But one thing okay, Lori P and C. Okay. So what this means in Illinois, and lucky for all of you not in Illinois, because Illinois is one of the more trickier states in terms of taking the exam. You're going to have to take a general property, a general casualty, and then state law for property, state law for casualty. So you're going to have 4 separate exams to take property and casualty. Now, here's the good news. A lot of information is going to overlap between property, general, casualty, general, property law, casualty law. So what I would recommend in Illinois when they have these multiple exams that you have to take is what information is going to show up on both exams. Because if I know the information that'll show up on both exams, I am going to have a much easier time at learning and retaining smaller amounts of information because I'm tested on it twice. I only need to study it once. I'm tested on it twice. So the things that are common between property general and casualty general, and I'm talking about Illinois, are going to be like the general insurance words. Like what is insurance? Insurance is a transfer of risk. What is risk? Risk is the uncertainty or chance of loss occurring. What are the types of risk? There are pure risks, which are loss or nothing. And then there are speculative risks, which are lose or gain. These are the same words that you're going to see on property and casualty. And honestly, there's very few differences between the words. Most of them will be absolutely the same, the questions that they ask you in both exams. There are a couple of differences. There's a little bit more casualty words that are very casualty specific, like comparative negligence, contributory negligence. Also, like what else do we got? Absolute liability, strict liability, vicarious liability. Those will show up in casualty general, but not necessarily property general, because those are very casualty specific words. And I actually have a casualty basics video in the gold class series package. So you see exactly what those casualty words are. So study what's the same, lots and lots of same language between property and casualty, especially in the general insurance terms related concepts, and also policy provision and contract law. And with policy provision, you want to be super focused on the elements of a legal contract. Okay. So what this is, and this is true for everybody, no matter what exam you are taking. I'm about to tell you a major tested topic, no matter what exam. It's on every single exam. And that is the four, not eight, four, two hands, right? Four and four, the four elements of an insurance contract. There are four elements of a legal contract. Technically, it's called a legal contract. So an insurance contract is a legal contract. And there are many legal contracts. A rental agreement is a contract. A job agreement is a contract. There's many different types of legal contract. Insurance is just one of them. You have to learn the four rules of all legal contracts, and then understand that insurance is a type of legal contract, and therefore it must follow legal contract rules. So the four elements of a legal contract, I must memorize the four elements of a legal contract. There are four elements of a legal contract. There is acceptance, consideration, competent party. Oh, hang on. Agreement, consideration, competent party, legal purpose. There we go. Four. Okay. We're going to talk about these. Agreement is there is one side who says, I want to do this, and the other side says, yes, I want to do it too. They're in agreement. So there are two sides. When we think about an insurance contract, there are two sides, right? There is the person buying the policy and the company selling the policy, the insured and the insurer. There are always two sides, two parties in an agreement with an insurance contract. And one side has to say, I would like to offer whatever that is. If it is a rental agreement, I would like to offer you rent money, or I would like to offer you a place to live, whatever. And then the other person says, and in exchange for that, I will give you this. And that's actually part of the consideration, because all of these are actually commingled together. They're all together. The agreement and the consideration, they're all kind of happening around the same time. They're not completely separate steps, which confuses some people. But agreement is this idea that two different parties, a minimum of two parties, and we always say party when we're talking about like a group of people. For some reason, that's what we do. It doesn't always feel like a party when you're buying insurance, but you are considered a party to the contract. So when I sit down to buy an insurance, I'm one party. The insurance company is another party. We all throw a party when we pass our exam. Okay, but agreement is when two or more parties come together, and one side says, I would like to offer you this. The other side says, I will accept that offer. And then you exchange those values with each other. That's the consideration. And so that's the first one, is acceptance. So acceptance says, I am making an offer of an insurance policy. Or I'm sorry, actually, the offer comes from the insured. The offer comes from the customer, the one who is has risks. And with an insurance contract, they're the one who has risks. So you go to the insurance company and you say, I have a risk. I have the risk of crashing my car. I have the risk of my house burning down. I have the risk of getting sick. I have the risk of dying. These are all insurance policies. Because again, if we go back to the insurance is the transfer of risk. I am taking the risks that I have in my life that I would have to deal with if they happen, and I'm going to give them away. I'm going to transfer them to the insurance company. I'm going to let them handle the risks when the risks happen. Okay, so the agreement side is that one party has to make an offer, and I am offering as a customer to transfer my risk to the insurance company. Then if they accept them, if they say, we will handle the risk if your house burns down, we will handle the risk if you crash your car, we will handle the risk if you die, we will handle the risk if you get a medical bill. So they're willing to take the burden of the risk you have. So you have and usually the financial burden of the risk that you have. So if I have a house, I have the risk of it burning down. I would need to rebuild it. This is going to cost me money. I would have to hire contractors. I would have to buy brick. I would have to buy flooring. I would have to do all these things. Instead of me dealing with all of that and coming up with the money for all of that and arranging all of that, I'm going to give all of that risk to the insurance company, and I will pay them money for them to take that risk. And that's what insurance is. And then if the house were to burn down, then the insurance company comes in, they figure out what they need to do, they figure out what needs to be fixed, they get the people, they spend the money, and boom, your house is rebuilt. So that is the purpose of insurance, is transferring the risk to the insurance company. I have a risk of my house burning down, getting sick, dying too soon, whatever it may be. I transfer that to the insurance company. If they accept it, if they say, yes, we will take this risk, and yes, we will pay for your car that was destroyed in an accident, yes, we will rebuild your house, yes, we will give you money if you die, your family money if you die, yes, we will pay your medical bills if you have them. If they accept the risk, then one side made the offer, the customer makes the offer, the applicant, the future insured makes the offer, and then the other side says, I accept it or not. So I take it or not. So we, the customers, the insureds, the applicants, we are offering all of these risks. If the insurance company says, yes, I will take these risks, yes, I will pay these bills for you if your car is to crash, fire, house, burn, whatever, etc., we will pay the bill. And on that side, on the insurance company's side, that is the acceptance of the offer, right? There always has to be an offer and acceptance. Someone has to say, I offer this, the other side accepts this. And that's one of the elements of a legal contract. Because remember, we're talking about the 4 elements of a legal contract. There are 4 elements of a legal contract. You must know all 4 of them, memorize them, know what the definition is for each of them, and how they function in a question and how you might see it on the exam. You need to know all those things. So if you want to know more about the 4 elements, I do have some more videos on YouTube, but I also have some amazing videos in my gold class series. That's actually where the best videos are. And that's going to be at insuranceexamqueen.com. And I have different offers for different price ranges, whatever you may need. I want to make sure I'm taking care of everybody. We even have the videos free here on YouTube. But that's going to be one of the things. So going back to talking about Illinois, that's going to be one of the things that shows up on every person's exam is the 4 elements of a legal contract. And this is how I'm helping people pass. Because if you've noticed, I've been teaching you the whole time, like 4 elements. I'm reminding you, I'm building in, I'm establishing a fact in your mind that you will remember, recall, and rehear in your head when you're sitting down to take your test. So if you're sitting down to take your exam, you're going to hear the insurance exam queen go 4 elements to a legal contract. And I will always repeat things that I really want you to remember that is really important for you to either understand or recall or know what it is you're talking about, understand the question, and all of that's embedded into the gold videos that are available on my website. Any of my videos, to be honest, but I've curated the best videos in the best order for you for your entire exam on insuranceexamqueen.com, whether you're doing the life, the health, the property, the casualty. We also now have the adjusters, which include Angela. We are all here to help make sure that you can pass. But the 4 elements of a legal contract show up on every single exam in every single state. But for property casualty, answering Lori's question, and this is true for anybody, no matter what, especially if you're in a state that makes you take property and casualty separately, know that most of the information is exactly the same. There's not a lot of differences. And the more you can know the common material between the exams, the easier it's going to be for you. Same for life and health. Now, this is true across the board for everybody with life and health. And this is why I always recommend to take, if you're going to take life and health, take them together as one exam if you have that ability. If your state makes you take them separate, take them separate. But even if you take them separate, take them the same day. Study for them at the same time. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is if you're, and this is true for people who say, well, I got a job selling life insurance and that's the only license I need, and I will eventually get my health. Almost everybody has that story where they get life, where they get health, and then they know they're going to need the other one, but you sometimes will like, well, I just need one license. I'm going to focus on the one that I need. But that means you're going to have to take another test down the line. You might as well just say one test, one, get it one and done. Even if you take them separate, take them at the same time, study for them at the same time and get them done and over with in terms of life and health, because so much of the information overlaps. So a lot of what you learn in life, you learn in health. And if you take a life and health exam together, you need to know a little bit about life and a little bit about health. When you take a life exam, you need to know a lot about life. And then if you take just a health exam, you need to know a lot about health. You ultimately have to remember more when you're taking them separately or at different times, especially when they're separate exams, like this is just life and this is just health. If you can combine them together or take them at the same time, you're eliminating having to know so much more about life. You're eliminating having to know so much more about health, and you can just cut to what is common to both exams and what is going to help me pass the most. Like, this is truly my mission with the insurance exam queen. Is I have studied this exam. Like, you guys are studying the information to take the exam. I studied you guys taking the exam. I studied the results of people who failed or passed, especially if they worked with me or didn't work with me, because this is what I have been doing for years now. You may have just found me, and you can see my channel started 2 years ago, but years and years before that, this is what I do. And I have seen, what do people truly need to know to pass the exam. And I have been all over the states. I have been all over the country teaching this exam and seeing what shows up on every exam in every state that I can teach everybody about, so that they know the most common, most tested information, and what is the quickest, fastest way to pass the exam. One of the reasons, it's so funny, because I would always joke about how I used to teach to the exam as a middle school teacher. As a middle school teacher, I wasn't teaching kids things unless it was a thing that showed up on an exam that they had to pass in order to move grade levels or to get their recognition, whatever it was. For me, it sucked. I remember school as a younger kid being actually really fun, really enjoyable. And every once in a while, we would take some sort of, you must sit here for 2 hours and take a test. And I remember one time taking those because I vomited my taco on it, which is funny. In one of the gold videos, I pick up a plate of vomit from zoo. But anyway, I don't remember as a kid going to school all the standardized testing. But as a teacher, all I talked about was standardized testing, which came from, like, George Bush was like, the nobody left behind. In order to make sure no one's left behind, they test children over and over again. So my point in telling you all of this is that I really understand what it takes to going into passing an exam, and how people need to how much information people can actually restore in their brain to keep up in there to be able to take and pass this exam, and when should you really begin honing in on the information of the exam. I learned all these things. I learned how to get people's scores up, and I took all that information, that of all the testing, like examining the process of testing and examining the results of people passing and failing, and doing different strategies and different techniques for each person based on their score to get them to improve the next time. Like, I know how to do that. Like, and then I start teaching it about the insurance exam. And I spend, years going across the country making sure that people are passing. And in order to do that, I had to study you guys taking the exam. I had to study the exams itself. What actually shows up when you sit down to take the exam? Of all the information I have to read, of all the information I have to learn, what do I actually need to know to pass this exam? And I found all that information, and I've found the best ways to teach this information. And I constantly evolve the ways that I teach this information based on my students, based on the questions you ask me, based on what I'm seeing on Facebook, based on these comments here. It helps me. And especially when we do like live classes, you guys ask me questions, you ask me questions right now. I evolve my teaching based on who I'm working with. It's just automatic to me. The way that you talk, the way that you ask a question, the way that you write a sentence gives me infinite amounts of data, that I know how to immediately use in my head and give you a better answer, give you a good answer. And if it's not, we'll figure it out. And I'll help make sure that you know and understand the information. And what has worked for most everybody that I've met, we have a 90% first time pass rate, is the gold class series package. It's I have different options for different price ranges for different lengths of time. But what I've put in the gold is what I would teach, how I would talk to people, what I would show you, what I would tell you to study, what I would tell you to memorize. I put that all in video that you can watch on your own time, at your own time, at your own pace within 100 days, because you really shouldn't extend your test out for too long. Everyone is a little bit different, 100%. So the average is that people will take and pass this exam in 2 to 4 weeks, and most people fall very close in that spectrum. There are some people who fall out of that spectrum. I've met people who have studied religiously for 2 years and struggled, but I don't think it's not because they're dumb. And that's one of the problems we all have with taking the test. We feel like we're dumb because we see it fail, but if you've never been around the language that is on the insurance exam, and I get this, I worked in Arizona, in a place where most people didn't grow up. Most of my students did not grow up speaking English with their parents, but they had to learn English, and struggling to understand words we were using, like snow, where there's no concept of snow, right? Like, what is snow? And when they use words, and this is something that's so crazy, that is when we take these with these standardized tests, you have to understand you're just taking a standardized test. You're what you did in school, you're now doing here, but you're taking all the horrible memories of school and associating them with this exam here. And so much of the work we do is not just how do I study and know to learn the information. Some of the work that we do is just spiritual, energetic, healing work. Of I feel like a failure when I see a fail on this exam, and I think that I just lost this amazing opportunity. I think I ruined my life, and I'm never going to get where I'm meant to go. And how am I going to feed my kids? And I can't get a good job anywhere else. And we feed this fear factor. So much of how I talk, what I say is not just factual scientific data on what it is you need to know to be able to pass this exam. For most of you, this is going to work. Get this, right? To understanding that so many of you will fail, not because you're not capable of knowing and understanding the information, but because you're feeling so negatively about yourself, about the exam process. You may be holding on to past wounds, past beliefs about the school system, because I was there. I saw how we as teachers bully children and make them feel bad depending on how they score in an attempt to get them to study. We've really associated studying with feeling bad. We've associated having to work a little extra harder at getting the information as a negative thing, instead of just, this is what it requires of me to be able to take this test. So it's very two-sided what I embed in my learning, which is something that is so different. I don't think you'll find an exam company out there that thinks about your soul and your spirit. Like, they're like, bottom dollar, this is what you need for your class, hope you pass, and if you don't, buy us again on renewal, because we'll just keep charging you renewal fees, right? Like, I don't even have an option to renew, because not many people have to actually renew my course. I have 100 days access for whatever it is, that most everything you buy. I think some things are 30. I think everything's 100 days to make it easy. But these companies, they don't care about your soul and your spirit when you're taking your exam. They don't care or know about what you went through in the school system, where you were made to feel, even know how to pronounce them, let them know how to meet you where you're at. And I've put that in the gold class series package. Okay, stuff works in every state. Okay, so no matter what state you're in, you buy gold, you're gonna really cover. And that would be things that your state has their people to read the read at. Coverage D is 30, because those are like beach homes, and I'm not saying that hurricanes, like flooding, is not covered on your regular homeowners. You need a flood policy for that. Make sure you know that. But something about the rates and the cost, like, it was an unfair burden to say 30%. It caused the insurance rates to be really, really high. So one of the ways that North Carolina lowered their insurance rates was to drop coverage D from 30% to 20%. So I notate that in the gold class series if you read the FYI. But that's what a specific state law would be. Now, there is only a handful of states, like very few states that are particular with something like that. Most of the information that is separate from state to state is going to be things like how long is your license good for? How many hours of continuing education do you need? Do you need anything special like 3 hours of ethics? These are all things I tell you to go look for your state law. So like right now, I am not a full replacement for a state approved company. I'm a supplement. I add to what they're offering because I don't yet offer specific state law stuff, but we're getting there. But I'm going to cover so much of what everyone needs in every state to help them pass their exam. Now, if you're in a state like Washington, where it's heavier on state law, it's actually more important to be super strong in all the other categories. So even if you're in a state where it's heavy on state law and I may not cover as intensely as you need, I'm going to make sure you're scoring all the points possible in the other sections to help tip the scales towards passing, which is something that's true in Florida. Like if you look in Florida, the percentage of their state law compared to their general information law is kind of big, but I have a lot of people who are able to pass their exam in Florida by using gold because I get them scoring high in every other section. That's another thing too, is I'm like, you can spend 10 hours studying a topic that you may see one time on the exam. And you could have just studied for 10 minutes for that one topic you're likely to see. And I've condensed time for you. So many people struggle. Like, I've already spent 6 months. I've already spent all this time, not only trying to study, but trying to pass. And I'm like, well, I'd like to save you some time. I can definitely save you a lot of time because I know what you're actually going to see, what you should actually learn, what you should actually memorize, and what it all means so that you can actually answer the questions correctly. I'm going to take care of that for you. And I put that together into the gold class series package. I give you what I spoon feed exactly what you need to know so that you can have success in this exam and not waste time and not struggle. Like, I'm trying to save you time. I'm trying to save you stress. I'm trying to save you struggle. And that's what's been put together. I'm trying to solve your problems with passing. I've seen the problems. I've been there. I've been on the side of trying to help you guys do this for years and years and years. And if you're just now seeing me on YouTube, you see a lot of lessons, but there's so much power. Like, why are these the lessons I put on YouTube? Why do we have so many people who are passing just from watching YouTube? Right? Like, you can get the best with the gold package, but even if you just watch the things I put on YouTube, it's gonna help you pass because I focus on what you actually need to know, what you actually need to study, what you actually need to learn, how you can make sure that you can do that when you're sitting on the exam. Yeah. So I care about your soul. So like just trust it, trust the process. It's been amazing. All right. I'd say about 9 more minutes before I break off. I would want to know, okay, answer that question. Can you explain the difference between pro rata and pro rata if it shows up twice? There is pro rata on the property and casualty side, and there is pro rata on the life and health side, but I feel like you're saying there's two differences in one. It shows up twice. There's also like pro rata basis. The thing about pro rata is not only is it a equation you need to know for the exam, is it's also like a concept as well. So like pro rata means like when you pay, like let's say you had to pay for my gold. Well, I don't even, let's look at a real life example. You pay your car insurance every month, but it's based on a 6-month plan, a 6-month cost. You may pay all 6 months up front, but what if you cancel 3 months in? You're going to get a portion of your money back. Pro rata is a portion back of something that you spend it, or like a share. Like, we look at your share of this risk and my share of this risk. So it kind of shows up two different ways. Yeah. But it hardly ever in the pro rata. And then also like returning premium. If you were to cancel your insurance, how do they return the premium? Do they just give you the exact amount? Do they give you that minus a fee? So that can be pro rata versus, what's the other one? I don't know. It's so not tested very much. The main pro rata, the main form of pro rata that you want to know is when I have more than one insurance policy. One policy covers 20,000, one policy covers 10,000, which policy will pay out which amount of money. That's the main pro rata you want to know. And I have it, just go to YouTube. I got a video on YouTube and I have a video in my class series too. I probably have the longest, best math videos. But you know what's so crazy is many of you will say I saw no math at all. So I make sure that when you study the math, you study what is most likely to be tested. I don't try to overburden you with all the math. There is more math that can show up, especially in the commercial side of things, but but hardly at all, but it can show up. I don't focus on that math because it hardly if ever pops up. I focus on the math you're most likely to see and what you really need to understand about it and the quickest way to find the solution. Um, but math won't make or break you regardless. You can be strong enough in other topics that you can fail every math question and be okay. Hey, friend. Hey, Charmaine. I love you, Charmaine. Charmaine is teaching classes about how to become an insurance agent outside of working for like a company that pays you like an hourly paycheck. So if you're interested in how you can make a lot more money insurance as an insurance agent than with a W-2 job, Charmaine is your girl to talk to. And go to our website, insuranceexamqueen.com, go to live classes, and you can book a spot to go to her class where she offers this information for free, which is absolutely mind-boggling. The value that you receive from Charmaine. She has her own life insurance agency, and she talks about how she is able to do this and what it's done for her, how it's impacted her life. Check that out under the live classes. Alex, you're awesome about the Kaplan. I couldn't absorb any of the information until now. That's stream. Yeah. So he extended Kaplan 3 times before getting me, and now he actually understands the information. So yeah, you can pay for renewals over and over again to read the same information that is not actually teaching you anything. Or you can invest in gold, spend the 97, learn what you need to learn, secure your past, move on, save time, save money, save stress, save overwhelm, save brain space, save your sanity. That's what the gold class series is going to do for you. I learned a lot with the YouTube free videos. Yes. And those videos helped me more than the course. Yes. I purchased with another online course with your free videos. It makes more sense to me. Yes. So I purchased another. So I think Jesus is saying you got like Excel using coupon code Queen at checkout. This doesn't work if you already got Excel. Okay. You have to purchase Excel using this code for the very first time. But if you purchase Excel solutions, they have state approved courses. Earlier, I was talking about how you need to take a state approved exam, and they have the specific state law stuff, and I don't yet have that. Excel is one that I recommend because they have great questions. I like their practice questions, their practice exams. They're very on point to what I have seen. So what I say is if you buy Excel using coupon code Queen at checkout, you get $9 off of the it's typically the $199 package this is going to work for. $9 off. Then you get enrolled into my gold for free. So you don't have to spend another 97 to get my gold. So you get it all in one. Most courses are 200 plus, no matter what company you get them from. You're spending 200 for Excel and getting gold for free as long as you use that code Queen at checkout. If not, it doesn't work for me, so it's not going to work for you. You have to have my code in there. And then you can use my videos to replace the reading, and then you use their practice quizzes. You get their state specific information, and you got tie little bow, perfect little combo for what you need right now to be able to pass. And it made it easier for him and makes it make sense. Perfect. A property insurance contract may be voided at its inception date by the insurance contract itself because the insured. It makes me feel like reading one of the test questions. A property insurance contract may be voided. So it may be taken away as if it never happened by the insurance contract because the insured concealed a material fact on the policy application. Yes. So if you lie, so what this question is saying, so if you guys need to go back and look at the question, we need to get it like on the screen so I can answer this. Maybe this is like a good TikTok video where I answer this question because whoo, is that wordy. A property insurance contract, so it just means an insurance policy. They say property insurance contract policy, the policy, right? The policy may be voided. Voided would be canceled, ended, terminated, as if it never existed. Void means to take it out as if it never existed, dissolve it as if it never happened, because they, even if you paid them, um, they are not covering you. They'll give you your money back, not a problem. They're going to give you back all the premium you paid. Say, sorry, this should have never happened, like an annulment to a marriage. So it may be voided at its inception date. Inception date just means when did it start? What was the official start date? Inception is the start date. By the insurance contract, okay, because the insured concealed means hid, with, they held back a material fact. Material means something very, very, very important on the policy application. So when they were filling out the application, what is your name? Where do you live? What kind of car do you drive? What is your driver's license, history, et cetera, et cetera. You, or for a life insurance policy, what is your name? What do you weigh? Do you smoke? What is your health history, medical diagnoses, medicines you're on, whatever application you're filling out, you hid something on purpose. That is a concealment, as you hid something on purpose. No, I never had cancer, when you indeed had cancer. You're concealing a material fact. So yes, if they find out that you lied, you purposely, because concealment basically means a lie, you purposely hid a truth, that would be a lie, on the application, then it voids a policy as if it never was existed, and therefore they don't have to pay the claim, and you can have all your premium back, but you have no coverage because you lied to us when you filled out this form. That's why it's very important that you tell the truth on your insurance applications, because if you lie, they're likely to catch you anyway, or it eventually catches up to you. So you want to, and they have all kinds of systems to tell if you're lying. Like when I worked for an insurance company, we were looking at multiple systems that said, have they ever filed a claim before? Is there anywhere, like, I swear insurance companies have better records of your driving record than like states do, right? States are all separate. There's no federal system of driving. It's all state by state basis. Insurance companies have made the federal system of driving. Like they know what you've been doing, where you're licensed and all of that. And it's kind of, sometimes when you go to actually sign up for an insurance quote, it fills out. Have you ever noticed, like if you've ever done a quote online, they're like, oh, we already know you've got this car, you've got this car, you've got this house, and you didn't do anything but tell them your name and your birthday. Like they know, insurance companies know. Um, so when you lie and they find out that you lied, it'll void the policy, terminate, never happened. Yes. All right. Now I gotta go eat dinner. So I love you all. I will see if I can go through these questions, but join the Facebook group. That's where you can get a lot of support. Get my gold class series package so you can pass the exam, save time, save stress, save overwhelm. It's insuranceexamqueen.com. And I'm going to work on coming live here often. So join me here. And again, check out the live classes. So Charmaine is teaching classes about how you can start your own insurance agency, making money your own way instead of relying on a job, an hourly job. What is the maximum way to maximize your income with insurance? You're going to talk about that with Charmaine in the class schedule. And then gold also, oh my God, the insane value of gold. Like I cannot believe it. Like if you knew the cost of these things that we just give away for free, like when we offer you a 2-hour class to teach you about a 1 to 2 hour class about the insurance exam, that is worth thousands of dollars to insurance companies. And we just say it's part of the $97 gold. What? Like it's just part, it just gets to be part of gold. There are other instructors out there charging hundreds of dollars for help on this exam. I don't even charge you $100 Like I charge you 20, you can go as low as free, honestly, with the YouTube channel, but you can go as low as a paid amount of $27 for the bronze, which is an amazing 8-hour video. Like if you, not as separate videos, but 8 hours total. Like if you're like, I got a grip on this, like I'm reading it, like I'm getting it, but there's just a couple of things that I'm not quite clicking. And if I could just have some bits of clarity around what I'm already basically understanding, that's who bronze is for. So with bronze, you're already basically understanding, and you just need to dump a little extra. Now, no matter where you're at, bronze is going to be absolutely helpful to every person who watches it. And one of the cool things about me is if you get bronze and you decide I do need more, you can upgrade for more to either silver for 57 or gold for 97. So these are all, you go where you need to go, and I'm here to help make sure that you can pass this exam. And make sure you go to our live class. I'm gonna go because I want to go have dinner with my honey bunny and my baby, who was a YouTube person. We met on YouTube. Isn't that crazy? All right, I love you all. Have an amazing day. See you on the Facebook and the live classes. You're wonderful. All the loves, all the vibes to pass the exam.